everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So today I thought I'd revisit a tutorial which is 6 years old on my channel, and it's my book box, and it's been very popular. It's had lots and lots of views, and I thought it would be nice to revisit. I've changed the size slightly and I've got this Christmas version, so I will link that one up here. And I've got a few other book style, I might even have a playlist, book box playlist, so I'll link that up here as well. But this is how it looks. So from the side you've got this kind of book effect, and then when you open it up you've got two boxes in here. Now I've left mine pretty plain. There's still room to personalize this. Nearer the time I will either have a little gift tag hanging off of here, or I might punch a hole here and have some string or ribbon and maybe a tag or someone's initials on there. If you check out my older one, I have heat embossed onto the spine here. You could also have some ribbon to tie this together. Again, I can add all of those elements nearer to Christmas once I know who I'm going to be giving it to and what I'm going to be putting inside. Your boxes open up from the top, and these are a nice size box. These are great just on their own. These measure 8 by 4.5 and they're 1 inch deep. So I do say in the video I think they'd work quite nicely with, you know, small clothing, like maybe a little pajama set, some like a thin little vest top. You could obviously put chocolate and treats in here, jewelry, makeup. There's so much that can go into these boxes. And as I always say, you know, I've decorated this for Christmas because I am trying to get a bit of my Christmas packaging started now because I've got lots going on this year, so I'm just trying to get a little bit organized. Very, very easy to make. You don't need any specialty dies or anything like that. So let's get started. So I'm using papers from the Holly Jolly Christmas paper pack. This was from last year by Simply Made Crafts. If it's still available, I'll link it below the video, but you can use any papers, and it doesn't have to be for Christmas. It can be for any occasion. I'm using the sentiment is from my new Christmas sentiment stamp set, and I've already stamped and embossed the wishing you lots of fun and laughter this Christmas. So I've already made one of the boxes, so I'm going to show you how to make the box and then the case to put everything in. So to make the box, you want to cut yourself 2 pieces of 6 by 10 3/4. Along the 6 inch side, you're going to score at 1 and 5.5. Rotate so the 1/2 inch tab is along the bottom, and you're then going to score at 1, 9 and 10. Do that on both pieces, and then you want to cut yourself 2 pieces of 4 1/4 by 7 3/4 pattern paper, and then 4 pieces of 3/4 by 7 3/4, and they will decorate the front here and then the sides. The back is going to be stuck to the case. Oh, you also want to cut yourself, this one here is, it'll be 3/4, it'll be 3/4 by 4 1/4, so you'll want 2 pieces of that as well. For the case, you want to cut yourself a piece of 7.5 by 8 3/4. Along the 7.5 side, you want to score at 1/2 inch and 2 3/4. And then between those score lines, you want to score at every 1/8 of an inch. So every track on your scoreboard. And this will just create your spine effect. It gives it a really nice detail, and it will allow it to curve. So you can fold every single one if you want, or you can just leave it as it is and just use your bone folder and just add a curve into it. I'm going to fold every one. I'm not going to burnish, but I am just going to put a fold into all of those score lines. Okay, so that will be the front, and this will be the back, and we've got the 1/2 inch tab there to attach this piece here. So this is 4 3/4 by 8 3/4. And to decorate the front of the case, I've cut a piece of 4.5 by 8.5, and that is going to sit on the very front there. Now I've already rounded off the corners, just use my corner punch here. You don't have to, it's completely optional, but it does give it a bit more of a book look, having those, you know, just on that right side, just curved. So back to the box, you want to fold and burnish all of these pieces. So now we need to do some cutting. So make sure you've got it so the 1 inch section is on your left and the 1/2 inch section is on your right. You'll have 2 pieces. They need to be at the top, and then just this 1 inch at the bottom. So just make sure they're in that orientation. First of all, you want to remove the bottom rectangle. Just snip that one away, like so. And what I'm doing here, you'll do exactly the same with the other 2 pieces. So then you'll have your 2 boxes. Then with this one here, you just want to cut up, just to free that up, and then just cut a little wedge off of each side. Now rotate them right the way around. Now we've got the opposite ends facing us, and you're going to cut down this first score line and down to the second, and then you're going to remove this top piece altogether, and then you're going to come along here and you're just going to cut down past the first score line down to the second, and then remove all of that completely. Again, just do that on this one, and then just take a little wedge off of the end here and also with that end, again with this one. So now you've got two that look the same, but on one of them you want to remove all of this part, so this long one and the 1 inch one. So now rotate them back round again, and you're going to add glue all the way down this right hand side, just on that 1/2 inch tab. And then you're going to line up your bottom score line here all the way up. Just give that a minute to dry, and then if you flip it over, fold this whole piece so you've just got the 1/2 inch panel on this one showing, and again run your glue all the way down, and then you're just going to fold that one over. It should all lay flat. This is good if you want to, you can kind of like prepare both the boxes, keep them all so they fold flat for the minute, and make the case and just keep it all separate. So if you want to kind of prepare things but maybe you haven't got the room to store them all yet, then you could certainly do pretty much all of this and then just assemble the bases and then stick it into the case nearer the time. But also you might just want to make these boxes, they're quite a handy project on their own. You don't need to put them into the case, so that you can see they're easy to store until you need them. Just fold it both ways. If you've got anything overhanging, which I have a little bit here, just trim that away. There we go, and just fold it back the other way. Again, make sure that all lays nice and flat. So again, you repeat that all on the other piece, and then on the base, so they're going to stick inside the case like this. You want them to open so that the closure is facing you. Otherwise, if you do it the other way, you're not going to be able to get into them. So I'm going to stick the sides in and add a little glue just to tack it in place. Stick the back one down, and then I'm going to add glue all along that piece, and then stick this one down. And then if you just flip it over, if you grab a ruler, you'll be able to get that right in there, and just to make sure all that glue has adhered itself to the card. Now I didn't cut anything away from these pieces. Whenever you're doing this kind of closure, it's best leaving them till this point, and then what you want to do is just on the outer edge, just take a very small amount off, not much. You want the closure to be able to lock itself into place, so just take a little bit off, and then take a very small amount off the sides here. Sometimes just making sure you've got rid of the score line is enough, and then you want that to lock itself in like so. So yeah, it's not coming out. Now I'm going to add a little finger paw in a minute. I'm going to punch a little hole out of it, but just make sure it locks itself in. If you're struggling to still get it in, then just cut a little bit more off of the sides here, but a little bit, and test it and then try it again. But if you just cut right into it, it will probably just pop out and it's not going to hold your gift in place. So now I'm going to add my pattern paper to the front here, to the sides, and also to the top there. You could do the bottom as well if you want, then you'll just need 4 pieces of that size. Okay, so everything's stuck down, so then I just want to add a little finger pull just so it's easier to open. So I'm just going to punch half a circle. So this is just a 1/2 inch circle punch. Okay, so 2 boxes. Now we can go on to the case. So it's up to you if you want to stick the 1/2 inch tab onto the front here or to the back. Now I'm actually going to stick mine to the back because you're not going to see the back, and then it just means that when I stick this box on top, you're not going to have any joins at the top and the bottom. So it's entirely up to you, but I'm going to add my glue onto the top part here. just in that 1/2 inch tab, and then stick that down. So it's just whether or not you want to see the join, that's all. But I think from the back, because it's that book style, I actually think that looks quite nice. It looks like it's like a dust cover or something. Okay, so then I just need to round off the corners on this piece here. Okay, so next you're going to stick one box right up to the fold there. So if I just fold that over, you're sticking your box up to that fold like so. So you'll have a 1/4 inch frame around the 3 sides there, and then this one you're going to do the same on that side. So what I've done is when this closes, it comes up like so, you will have the 2 inch width here, but also I added a 1/4 inch, so you've got that slight little curve just to give you that book effect. So once I've stuck them in, I'm also then going to stick that on the front and my sentiment, and then I'll show you it all finished. So that's how it all looks from the side. You could add a little fasting here, maybe a ribbon tie. I'm going to leave it just as it is. It's going to sit under the tree like so. I can have a little gift tag hanging off of here. And you can also, if you've seen my older one, the one that I mentioned at the start, I have heat embossed and stamped something on there as well. But again, I could still, even with it all together, I could punch a little hole there, put a little eyelet, and then maybe have the gift tag or personalise it nearer the time once I know what I'm going to be popping in here. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial from me today. Check out similar tutorials now that will be coming up. You might want to watch those next. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing and hit the notification bell, because that way you won't miss out on any future videos. See you all again soon. Bye.